Good morning. So it's entirely my fault this time. You know, I spent last night doing a lot of housework that I kind of been neglecting over the last like couple of weeks, and yeah, you know, I was obviously pretty tired from that. Could have also been that I stayed up until 3 a.m. playing Path of Exile, but yeah, who can say for sure? But yeah, that's why we're a little late today. How are we looking? I thought I turned off that fucking Apple thing. Why is it even showing that when, like... Oh, here it is. New sub or gift sub. I'm not even an affiliate. Like, that doesn't work on here. What? That you literally can't... You literally can't make that work in... Wait, really? No, disabled. No, I can't disable it. Why isn't it... Oh my fucking god, Twitch. Like... Okay, there we go. Now it seems like it's fine. Wait a minute. How is it applying the change, but then going back to the tab was reapplying the old settings? Because you load up the settings, and then a user changes it, so you persist it back down, or you persist the change back down. I guess you might not hold on to the change. Like, you essentially, a call gets made that, hey, this particular setting got changed to this value. But why wouldn't you keep that consistent in a UI without reloading? Sorry, again, can't take the software engineer. You can take me out of my software engineering job, but you can't take the software engineer out of me. I'm sure it's more complicated than that, but I'm looking at that and going, Benefits unclear. Like, unless you are holding the entire thing, but if you're holding the entire thing, then that should persist normally. The only time that wouldn't hold is if you treat them separately and you only send down absolutely necessary information, which means that, yeah, which makes sense because that means what you're sending down is as small as humanly possible, reducing traffic. But then why wouldn't you make sure that it persists in the settings there? It would at least put someone at ease that the changes were made, you know? Oh, whatever. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to endeavor to get through 2 sets of role quests today. We'll see how it goes, because, yeah, like, 2 of them I'm pretty sure, like, I probably needed to have woken up at 9:30, like I intended to get through both, but, we'll still see how that goes. And I have not heard good things about the tank quest line from Newest Girl, so, yeah, I guess we'll find out what's up. We're gonna do that, and we're gonna do Fizz Ranged, which is gonna be Dancer. Where's... Oh, one of them's over there. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say I couldn't see all 3 of them, but the third one is kind of... Oh. Shashepia. Interesting. Alright. Hello. The narwhal beckons. The what now? The narwhal? Okay. The young woman gazes into the horizon with a troubled expression. Looks like we're going to Ishgard? Probably American accent, I would assume. Depends on if Shaktaral or Yoktaral. Oh, fuck me. Awesome. That you were guided here safely. Yeah. Oh, hello. Judging by your attire, you must be the traveler from across the seas. And I suppose Brukevu has enlisted you to our aid? That you were guided here safely must be the work of the brave Narwhal, who remains watchful even in this dire time. We are ever grateful for its vigilance. My name is Lois Nikwe, and I hail from the northern reaches of Shaktaral, where even our breath freezes when caught in the chilling winds. Oh, so a place we haven't gone yet. Honestly, like, I understand that the story kind of, you know, went off in a direction in the second act, but, like, they've left a lot of places in Shaktaral in particular, like, unexplored, and I really hope we get to see that at some point. Like, MSQ-wise, this is probably the least we've been given in terms of a direct, like, plot thread to follow. Like, the narration goes like, oh yeah, there's gonna be more work to do because, you know, Dawn Servants have changed and, you know, we're bringing more people into the fold. But there isn't, like, an obvious thing, like in Heavensward when, you know, Nidhogg came back, in Stormblood when, like, the war had just finished, essentially. In Shadowbringers when Little Bus was going around. Like, the closest we got was the comments from, Erinville, and then we saw the, Sven's crown do something. What could that possibly be? Who knows? But, like, it sounds like there's, more and more places in in Shaktaral in particular that we haven't visited, so maybe we get some new zones or something like that in the future. That'd be cool. Our people revere Taral Vitral of the Narwhal, whose essence rests in the cradle of the sleepless, our most sacred treasure. Through fathomless depths, it swam without rest, protecting its home from any who would do it harm. Legends tell that the Narwhal could place the burden of its fatigue upon another, and thus was able to maintain its vigil night and day. So too can any who possess the cradle lull a person, willing or no, into a deep slumber, all while avoiding the need for sleep themselves. Huh. That's an interesting power set. Needless to say, such power could cause untold harm in the wrong hands. Thus was the greatest warrior of our village, Tentoawa. Tentwawa. We'll go with that, Tentwawa. Tentwawa, tasked with crossing the ocean and returning that which was most sacred to us. I'd have joined him, but I feared I would only be a burden, so I remained here that I might find someone to send to his aid. Tentwawa, has rushed bravely and blindly into the thick of things, leaving me behind to watch and worry. When will my husband come back from the war? But if there's anything I can do to help, even a little, then I must. Brukevu, has done well to send you to me. I can tell you're just the man to temper his more reckless tendencies and keep him safe during his quest. I suppose so. As luck would have it, a letter from Tentoa, arrived shortly before you did. It seems he discovered that the thief made their way to a place called Ishgard. While I don't doubt his prowess, even Tentoa, would be rendered helpless before the Narwhal's lullaby. Please, could you follow him to Ishgard and find him before he does anything rash? Ishgard is like a second home to me. Technically inaccurate because Aldean was born in Ishgard, but yeah, I won't let your treasure be misused. Thank you, Aldean. I knew the Narwhal would guide a brave protector to our side. Tentoa sails to an unfamiliar place, but despite his hasty nature, he doubtless spent time gathering information about his new surroundings before planning his next step. If Ishgard has a place like this, where people gather to drink and talk, he might go there first. Ask for a swordsman with blue hair and attire like mine, and I'm sure it won't be long until you find him. Oh, I hope he dressed colder, because, yeah. Dude's gonna be an ice cube when I find him. Makes me wonder if, this whole thing is gonna be preventing a person from, like, putting the whole city to sleep. That's, like, the most obvious move here, but... Also, like, putting the burden of sleep onto someone else, that's, like, a lot of the powers we've seen so far tend to be a lot more... Hey, Charles, how's it going? A lot of the powers of the... Well, the two powers we've seen before, are a lot more, like... Finally, a role quest I can watch. Oh, right. Oh, have you actually done the tank one? I didn't hear great things about it, so... I guess we'll find out. But, yeah, so what have we done? We've done the caster quest, which was the rocks, and then we've done the healer quest, which was the toxins and shit. So, like... Both? Yeah, I'm the tank guy, so I had to. Oh, gotcha. I guess they're not necessarily, super destructive. But, like... Yeah, I don't know, like... You know what this is? It feels like we're going up against stand users. Because their powers aren't, like... The powers they get aren't, like, explicitly, like, really powerful or anything like that. Like, the rocks are... Well, actually, no. No, the first one is definitely a stand. It's like, oh, when you're in danger, a rock will fall on someone. It's like, oh, okay. So it's not you can throw rocks. It's when you are in danger, this power will activate. The poison and cure one's a bit more like... If I'm reading into it as a stand, it's a lot more... It's one of those more, like, directly powerful ones. It's like, oh yeah, it has a very obvious power set and application. Whereas... I can make you fall asleep so I don't have to, is like... Okay. Like, there were at least, like, obvious things that seemed to make sense in terms of, like, a threat, right? So, the first guy would be essentially invulnerable, right? Because if you made him feel in danger, you would get hit with rocks, and it would be more and more potent depending on the danger he felt. In the second case, yeah, she was playing around with the fucking poison idol and was going to poison an entire island's water supply. Yeah, that's a big threat. This guy is like, yeah, I can make people sleep for me instead of myself. It's like, okay, surely there's limits to that power that would make that not work well, right? And if it is an Aldean, what'll it be? Lad from the Western Continent. Well, I can't be going around gossiping about the comings and goings of my customers, now can I? It's a quick way to an empty tavern. But I suppose since you're you, I can make an exception just this once. A lad much like the one you described, walked through my door not long ago. Was asking anyone whose ear he could bend about some stolen narwhal or some such he was after. Usually you buy someone a drink before interrogating them, but not him. Nobody knew what he was going on about, but he was determined. Asked where else in Ishgard people might gather to flap their lips. So I told him to head to the Jeweled Crozier. If you leave now, I reckon he'll still be there. You'll know him when you see him. Trust me. I forgot the Forgotten Knight has this music. Like, the dire kind of story music. Fuck, I forgot that was a Heaven's Ward track, to be completely honest. Alright, friend, where are you? Hot-blooded youth. Oh dear. I was wondering whether this person was gonna be dressed for the weather, but yeah, I don't really think so. Whoa. Sir? Bunch of useless... By the narwhal's horn, if you think manners keep people warm for how desperately these people cling to them. Here I'm trying to rid their city of a thief. What's up? Yes? Seems you know me, but I don't think I've ever seen you before. I remember. Lois Zaniqui sent you? Even across oceans, she can sense when I'm in trouble. Well, I mean, you just kind of went into enemy territory. Oh, well, you just went into unfamiliar territory without saying a fucking word, so yeah. Well, I won't deny a helping hand, especially one with her blessing. I'm having no luck getting information from these people. Seems there are unwritten rules regarding favors that no one's bothered to tell me. Ah, don't worry, I grew up here. I know the thief traveled here, but that's where the trail runs cold. Thought it'd only be a matter of time until they used the cradle to commit some misdeed or another, but it seems nothing is amiss within or without Ishgard's walls. I have only a description to go on, although it's availed me nothing so far. A woman of a race known in this land as Elzen. She has striking red hair and eyes the color of rust. A scar dominates her forehead and a mole rests upon her lips. She came to my village posing as a scholar with an interest in the cradle. Although she gave us a name, I know now it was a lie, just like everything else that spewed from her mouth. Bounty of meat, vegetables, and fruits she offered was worth its weight in gold to us. After the cold snap we suffered last year, we couldn't afford to turn her away. Looking back, I realized how brazen her deception was. Although she wore the robes of a scholar, she moved with the poise of a predator. I marked her as a fearsome warrior the moment I laid eyes upon her. Of course, she wouldn't have been able to travel so far north on her own if she was unseasoned, so I thought nothing of it at the time. It was my first misstep of many. And that's all I know. It's not much, but if you see even the smallest scrape of a clue in there, it'd be a damn sight better than what I currently have. Few scholars study in Ishgard without passing through the Astrologicum. If she feels even an ounce of guilt, she would seek penance at St. Raymond's Cathedral. That's not gonna... Skilled sword would be known among the knights of the congregation. She did pose as a scholar, so I don't know if that's actually a thing, but... Skilled sword. Among the knights of the congregation. Knights, was it? I suppose that's what you call these deadly-looking fellows clad in steel. Yeah, you may be onto something there, but where do we find one willing to speak? Leave that to me. I'm pretty sure this town is an open book to me. At the barracks near the tavern? Oh, I know the way. I'll meet you there. Yeah, because she's posing as a scholar, and then the second one was just like, well, I mean, she's got to feel guilty, right? Which is like, you know, just based on everyone else that we've seen so far. Yeah, probably not. Probably not. I wonder if we're going to talk to Emmerich again. See, the fact that we're coming back to Ishgard would make me kind of, like, happy, because I'd be like, ooh, yeah, maybe, like, the last role quest that was here was fucking phenomenal, so surely this one's gonna be good, but then it's also the tank quest, which, you know, wasn't good last time either. But that's because it was in the Shroud. That's because it was in Gridania. Like, yeah. This is it, right? Let's not waste any time, Aldine. Goody tank quests. Hey, newest girl. Why, Master Felspark, what brings you to the congregation? This Passage of the Unbound is not a name I have heard before, but if one of their number has brought an artifact of great power to Ishgard, we would be ill-advised to suffer their presence. We shall act on this information at once. If there is aught that would threaten the peace, then it is our duty to root it out. Consider the Knights of the Congregation at your disposal. Oh, thank you for hearing us out, truly. Now, does anything about the description we shared ring a bell? An Elysian woman with red hair and eyes the color of rust. Wait. You said she bore a scar on her forehead, yes? And a mole? No, it could not be. You know who she is? Well, such information is usually privy only to those within our order. Pray understand my hesitation. What? Weren't you listening to anything we told you? She's too dangerous to be left alone. This isn't the time for secrecy. I know I'm a stranger in your city, but I can't stand by while innocent lives might be at risk. He's right, the danger justifies bending the rules a little. If you can't trust Tentar, then trust me. I will say, it makes sense that every time we go back to Ishgard, we manage to find this other layer of just bullshit that's festered in this place. It's fucking phenomenal how consistent we are at this point. Like, it's like, oh, really? There's corruption in Ishgard. Still. Again. Fucking color me surprised. Yeah, trust me. I'll pull my weight here. You are right, of course. If the hero who ended the Dragonsong War is not worthy of our trust, then who is? Very well. Master Tentoa, pray accept my apologies. Though you know may not be Ishgardian, nor desire to keep its people safe is plain to see. We shall place our trust in you, as Master Felspark has. I'm glad we can see eye to eye. Now then, what do you know of this thief? Your description called back some old memories. Memories of a knight named Leofine. Merely recalling her story makes me ill at ease, for the mark she left upon our honorable order was black as pitch. None know of her whereabouts since she was expelled from the congregation. I had thought living with the shame of her deeds would be punishment enough, but if she now consorts with villains that threaten the very foundation of order, then 'tis clear we can suffer her freedom no longer. I shall inform my superiors of this development, and suggest that the congregation does all in its power to track down Leofine and place her in custody. If we learn aught of value, I promise to share it with you at once. Really? Oh, that's more than we could have asked. Yeah, we got somewhere at least. Suppose we ought to consider what to do in the meantime. Care to join me over there, Aldine? Never finished Reconstruction after our Civil War. Yeah, I guess it's one of those things where, like, because of the time bubble, it's not really clear, like, what the expectations are of things being passed. And I guess this isn't, oh, there's still corruption. It's more like, oh, this is some old shadows coming back to haunt us, you know, or, you know, skeletons in the closet coming back to haunt us. So, like, I'd imagine it, by the sound of it, I imagine it's, like, pre the Dragon Song War ending, which, yeah, would make sense. So we have a name. Leofine, a former knight of Ishgard. I mean, she knows how to hide herself in the city well. Grasping about at straws won't get us anywhere. My unfamiliarity does little to help our chances. May have no choice but to wait until the knights discover a lead. Nevertheless, I intend to spend every waking moment learning more about this city and its workings. As for you, I only ask that you be ready to move at a moment's notice. Until then, be well. Yippee. Sleepless in Ishgard. Fuck. Tentoa, is eyeing each passing Ishgardian with curiosity. Oh, there you are, Aldine. I've been walking Ishgard's streets whenever I've been able, and I've taken to searching for any sleeping people. You see, the land I'm from isn't much warmer than this, and people, know not to tempt fate by dozing off in the open air. Oh, right, no, he is from a place that's cold. Fuck, I completely forgot about that. I think because I was in, Tuliolol, I was just like, oh yeah, that is the clothing you wear in this weather, so obviously it's not fit for... No, they fucking live in the mountains. Like, yeah, they know. Even those blind with drink managed to find their way home somehow. I figure the only force powerful enough to overcome that instinct for self-preservation would be the cradle. So, if we find a sleeper exposed to the elements, we may very well discover Leofine nearby. I can't imagine she brought it all this way just to remain idle. It's a tedious prospect, but we need to scour every back alley and shadowed walkway before anyone catches something much worse than a cold. Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, yeah, this is one of those things where, like, oh, putting someone to sleep, yeah, sure, that's gonna be a lot of power. But, like, no, if you put someone to sleep in Ishgard exposed to the elements, like, pun intended, that's fucking cold. Like, you could kill someone doing that. Master Felspark, Master Tentoa, I bring good tidings. The Temple Knights wasted no time in distributing handbills across Ishgard containing Leofine's description. These efforts have already borne fruit. We but recently received a report of someone matching her features being sighted. Really? Where? She was sighted near Camp Dragonhead by a patrolling sentry. He described a woman with red hair and a distinct scar on her forehead. The outpost can be reached by passing through the Gates of Judgment and heading east. Once there, speak with Sir... Eugenois for the full report. I knew she'd show herself. Let's hurry, Aldine. We went from one place where there's, like, unfamiliar names and language, between, like, kind of the Mesoamerican stuff and the more, like, North American, Native American, inspired names, back to French. Oh, no! Going back to the previous areas of expansions isn't safe from fucked up names. Eugenois is how I'm saying I'm gonna pronounce this. Ah, I was informed you're on your way. This is concerning the report by one of our sentries, yes? He cited a woman matching the description in the handbill sent by the congregation. She was heading south along the footpath, but that is all we know. I mean, that's enough. Oh? Yes? This is Eugenois. What? Hold fast. I shall send aid at once. What happened? A shipment of supplies was waylaid by monstrous beasts. A contingent of temple knights should have been protecting it, but something is amiss. You know what I'm thinking? They need our help. We would be in your debt. The shipment was attacked on the road west of the observatorium. I shall muster more knights. Please, go find my men before any lives are lost. Good toggle. They actually do anything when you're running? It doesn't look like it. Oh yeah, we're back in Realm Reborn areas, which means no music at night. Awesome. They should be close, right? I'll search the other side of the river, Aldine. Aldine, you search down the road and keep your weapon at the ready. Is he a tank too? He looks like he's got a shield on him. Like, it's more like a Tajay, but... Hi, friends. Die. Nice. Oh, yeah. So... for my glam for this, I don't think I've ever told this story. I was looking for something that was, like, paladinish and, like, with a tinge of green to it, because Aldine and green goes together. And I saw the Emerald Weapon, Sword and Shield, and I was like, oh, that could work. But then I was like, oh, shit, that's one of those expensive shiny weapons that, you know, is, really hard to craft and all that. I feel like I got that for less than $1 mil. I think it's just, like, that unpopular that the only one I found on the market was, like, really cheap. It's... I don't know how I managed to avoid paying, like, out the ass for this, but, yeah. I could also be a server thing, right? Because I was on Oceania by then. And Lord knows there's not a lot of people crafting stuff like that. Oh, you saved us. We were almost... Oh, jeez. You won't be feasting today. Not a moment too soon. Wide Eye watches eternal, and eternal is asleep it bestows. Sleeping. So it can be used on more than 2 people. No, that's not... God damn it. I guess I have to be dumb. No, they're not. Just look. They're asleep is all. What? Good. Good. Our trusty chocobos suddenly became unsure on their feet, and the wagon toppled onto the side of the road. There's nothing for it but to fix the damage on the spot. Temple Knights went to secure the area, but before I knew it, each and every one of them had fallen asleep where they were standing. Then the beasts attacked. It was just me before those snarling fangs. Time to wake up. Sleep here any longer and the cold will have you. What happened? each and every one. It was 2 nights, exactly. We fell asleep. But we were patrolling. He must be mistaken. A temple knight would never shirk his duty so. Are you calling me a liar? I saw you fall over on your ass with my own eyes. If not for Sir Eugenois' quick response and the bravery of these warriors, we all would be food for the vultures by now. The congregation will hear of this dereliction of duty, you can be sure. Bro? That's not their fault. Now, hold on just a moment. They aren't the ones to blame. A sacred relic of my people was stolen and... Now isn't the time. Sorry, forget I said anything. What? 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 Why wouldn't you... They're being reprimanded for no reason. What possible reason could you have to not talk about what happened? Okay, that's really weird. I don't know where that's going. I hope it's touched on, but yeah. Whatever dizziness overtook the chocobos seems to have passed. I'll resume my journey once the carriage is repaired. Assuming my guards are quite refreshed, I believe we can make it on our own. Please, return to the Camp Dragonhead and warm yourselves. It's no coincidence that the giant birds and the 2 guards took leave of their senses around the same time. This is the work of the Cradle. But even if Leofine was here, she is no longer. Let's return to the city and consider our next steps. Why did... Okay, that's... I imagine it's something we'll touch on, because, like, you know, hey, a supernatural power made them fall asleep. They didn't fall asleep themselves, is a pretty big thing to, you know, put here. Like, if I had to guess, it might be a cultural thing of, like, oh, okay, hold on, like, yeah, I could probably stick my foot in it and all that, but, you know, their culture, you know, their knights... Sorry, the culture around their knights is their own, and I shouldn't be, like, pushing all that. But, like, I think there's a difference between, like, disagreeing with it from a cultural or moral perspective and talking about how, no, you're just wrong, there is a different power at work that caused them to fall asleep. That is a very strange choice in characterization there. But, like, it could be a thing, so I guess we'll find out. You said that knights from Camp Dragonhead are on their way, yes? And I believe we shall have ample protection for the remainder of our journey. Oh. Going back to Ishgard proper. So yeah, not a great start. Already I'm, like, raising an eyebrow. Not in the way that, like, oh, this is terrible, but more like, okay, it feels like we're setting something up at the moment, but it's not really clear what that is yet, so I just raised my eyebrow and not much else. We received the reports of the incident near Camp Dragonhead. 2 of our own sleeping on duty. By the fury. Did you reach them even a moment later, this would have been much darker. Although it pains me to say it, those 2 shall be punished as befits the magnitude of their negligence. If I may, I don't believe the blame rests entirely on their shoulders. The Cradle of the Sleepless was used against them, I'm certain. Oh, yes, you said it possessed the power to lull others into a deep sleep. I admit that would explain these exceptional circumstances. Regardless, they were still bested by their enemy, and their charge was almost killed as a result. punishment is the only recourse. This is like someone in the fear unit that failed to protect a scientist against Alma, and they came back and they're like, well, you didn't beat the supernatural psychic lady and prevent her from killing the scientist, so you get punished. It's like, what the fuck did you expect? Hello? Well, maybe Fear Universe and a regular soldier, not Fear Unit, because there's a whole deal with that. But it's just like, I'm sorry. You're telling me that first contact with a new power everyone is unfamiliar with, these people are going to get punished for not countering that. Maybe this is where this is going, and it's going to be a whole thing about Ishgard being stuck up, having sticks up their ass. I see. Our stance, maybe, but I can respect that you don't treat your duty lightly. Well, if you learn anything else of Leofine's plots, please let us know at once. Even though we didn't find her, I'm glad we were able to save those soldiers. Thank you for coming to us. Oh, nay, 'tis the Temple Knights who owe you thanks. We shall continue our search, and rest assured you shall be the first to know of any developments. Aldine, there's more I would tell you about the cradle. Things I should have told you sooner. Join me over there, and I'll do my best to fix that mistake. Now you've seen with your own eyes what I've only been able to describe. The Narwhal's lullaby can put even hardened warriors into a restful slumber. They may as well be defenseless as a newborn babe. But even with such power, my people have never used it to attack our enemies. Its sole purpose has always been to keep a single person awake, an eternal guardian who would never sleep, never rest. The Wide Eye. Me. For 10 years I've been awake, training day and night to gain the strength I have now. Strength to shield my people. Oh, shit, okay. That's cool as fuck. Of course, another must receive the weariness I cast aside. The Shut-Eye. You've met her, in fact. Loazenique. As I've been awake for these 10 years, she's spent the better part of her days in a deep slumber. Her brief periods of wakefulness is spent exercising and eating so her body doesn't waste away. And so we've barely spoken, despite how much I depend on her. When we were young, we'd spend our days exploring the mountain paths, but that time is long past. Telling you all this now, I realize how very little of my life has been dedicated to my own pursuits. I was in Lozanique and I both have devoted ourselves entirely to the protection of our village. That explains your skill. How did Leah steal the artifact from such an accomplished warrior? That explains your skill. Every bit of my skill I owe to Lozanique. I don't think I was rebutting that. I guess he's like, just yeah, don't compliment me, like, not for a sacrifice. I'd be no stronger than your average hunter, but I've barely had the chance to thank her. We don't have the luxury to dwell on regrets. I see now that although my people never use the cradle for ill, wicked hearts can twist anything toward evil. And that's something I can't tolerate. Very thought that this might happen again makes the bile churn in my gullet. We must bring Leofine's schemes to an end. Okay. Okay. I like the concept of this a lot. I think I'm gonna call it, though, I feel like this story is going to fall flat when it comes specifically to interacting with Ishgard. I feel like this character is... Like, the idea of this is, like, sick. In both a narrative and kind of... in a narrative sense and just conceptually. Because, like, yeah, one person taking on the burdens of another and allowing another to become, like, superhuman in terms of their capabilities. Pretty cool. But there's obvious trade-offs there. There's parallels with the Warrior of Light and how they dedicate their lives to, you know, protecting the realm, and how a lot of their time up until this point has not been spent doing what they want, and, you know... Frey Mist has entered the chat. Oh, there was another thing I was thinking of. And yeah, putting it, like, essentially shedding humanity in some way, because, like... in, like, Loa Zanique, can't, like, live her life, because she's always basically asleep, and Tentoa, can't live his life because he's always training. So they've both given up their own lives, essentially, to keep things safe for people. And there's a lot to pick away at that. How does that wear on a person? Are they okay with that? After their experiences in Ishgard, are they gonna treat that thing the same way? Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things to explore here, I feel. Between sleep and death, Tentoa has a worried expression on his face. Just the person I wanted to see. I'd like to ask your advice on a certain matter, if you don't mind. It's been a while since my last letter to Loa Zanique. I wanted to wait until I discovered something worth sharing to write her, but we're still completely in the dark. I don't want her to worry, but I don't know what to tell her. Tell her you're in good spirits, that will suffice. Yeah, and then this is kind of like a situation where he's like, I don't know how to interact with people anymore. I've spent my whole life training for my whole life awake in training, and not much else. You might be right. Silence might make her think that something terrible has happened. Alright, I'll start right away. May not have much time left. What? Oh, don't misunderstand. It's nothing so grave as that. It's just... the last time I used the cradle was just before it was stolen. Luckily, I'm still as alert as I've ever been, but I won't be, it won't be long until I'm, a stream like any other. That will give Leofine free reign while I'm helpless in bed. There is no quarry more dangerous than one who doesn't sleep. We have to see this through before that happens. I suppose. But, like... I feel like in-game, days would have passed anyway, so, like... Master Fellspark, Master Tentoa, we have received reports that several groups of Temple Knights have fallen afoul of what can only be your stolen artifact. Several? Let me guess, they were all guarding someone else. You would be correct. It is the duty of a knight to protect those who cannot protect themselves. If we fail at even the most basic function, then our honor means nothing. As if the incident near Camp Dragonhead was not shameful enough, the knights in these most recent attacks were left in quite compromising positions. Oh, compromising in that way. Oh, never mind. Uh-huh. How did no one notice this? Yet the weight of embarrassment is a trifle compared to the guilds we would have a bear if any innocent came to harm. The Fury was merciful in that respect, but we would rather not see these incidents repeat. Hey, I got a question. Hey, Emmerich? Emmerich, real quick. Yeah, hey man, how's it going? Long time no see. What the fuck are you doing? Why are the Temple Knights still like this? Have we not reformed this in some way? Like, yeah, I get it. Like, you need to make sure that people are kept in line, and your duty and honor is, like, really important, but also, like, what the fuck? Nah. God damn it. Ishgard's gonna Ishgard, I guess. Fuck me, dude. I really hope this doesn't become a trend with Ishgard. Like, the last role quest was really good because it was a lot more about, like, the fallout of, like, the Dragon Song War and all of that. But, if we're hitting Ishgard with the same kind of one-note bat that we are Gridania, I'm gonna be annoyed. Because this place deserves better, and it's much easier to do more with it than Gridania, because you do have a lot of writing to do to be able to ride around the elements. Like, don't get me wrong. There's a reason Gridania is bad. There shouldn't be a reason Ishgard is this one note. Still, while the Temple Knights must work to repair their reputation in the days ahead, it is a far cry from bringing Ishgard crumbling to its knees. Truth be told, the methods of this Passage of the Unbound leave me mystified. But Leofine was cunning, if nothing else. Till we can discern her true motivations, we have little recourse but to wait until she makes a mistake. If she gets so jolly seeing people humiliated, she may be testing the limit of the artifact's powers. I say as the sun comes out. Then you suggest she has a greater purpose in mind for it, and these incidents are simply a prelude. We cannot discount that theory, I admit. We shall remain vigilant. There's no telling how much chaos she can sow if left unchecked. We have to do everything we can to get the cradle out of her clutches. I guess how are you gonna do that though? We've seen hide nor hair of her. And to do that, we have to start asking the right questions. This new information makes me wonder, why has she focused her attention on the Temple Knights? To sow discord. Probably similar to the first guy who was like, hey, I'm gonna undermine the actual usefulness of the standing army and guard to say that only I can protect everyone and therefore get power. Might be a similar thing here. She's familiar enough with the Temple Knights and obviously has a history with them that seeing them crumble would see a lot of Ishgard crumble. I have pondered the same. Posted at Camp Dragonhead are knights from many houses of repute, including House Forton. Being a former Temple Knight herself, Leofine doubtless knows their habits and training. Perhaps that makes it easier for her to exploit their weaknesses. And if we follow the knights, we might pick up her trail. It's not ideal, but it's the best we have to go. It's the best we have to go on. Well, a large contingent of knights has recently been dispatched to Kurthus. You remember Gorgain Mills, yes? It has lain abandoned ever since the heretics were driven from it. Yet there is ever the risk that unsavory elements might might infest it once again. Thus have the Temple Knights planned joint patrols of its premises with other contingents. If you speak with Sir Redwald at Falcon's Nest, I'm certain he would be able to. He would certainly be glad to have you along. Thanks, bud. Or did we already have the jingle? Oh no, there it is. Yeah, I can't unhear London Bridge. I literally can't unhear London Bridge is falling down. Like, I think I picked that up the first time I went through it. Oh, right, there is no way to get there from here. Fucking teleport there, I guess. I'm really surprised there isn't, like, an Ethernet point out to Falcon's Nest, because it is an exit on the other side of Ishgard, but also graphics update looking pretty fucking good in Kurthus, not gonna lie. Hey man. Is that Master Felspach I see? course, you are ever welcome in Falcon's Nest. Yet I believe I do not know your companion here. Indeed. Whispers of the Temple Knight's humiliations have reached us even here. Falling asleep while on duty. Dare not believe the stories, but it seems there was truth in them after all. Fog effects on the steppe is incredible. I haven't been back to the steppe yet. I do really want to see, like, each area in fog. I've seen people, like, take screenshots and stuff like that, and they look incredible. They fell asleep, true, but it wasn't their fault. We suspect they fell victim to an enemy wielding a powerful artifact. Now, the rumors failed to mention anything like that. If it can lull even trained warriors to sleep, then we must treat it as a serious threat. Nevertheless, if one knight falls, another is always at the ready to take their place. So long as this artifact cannot put an entire regiment under its spell, I believe we are all well positioned to combat it. Interesting. The idea of your allies fallen in battle doesn't seem to disturb you at all. Where I hail from, a single warrior is responsible for the safety of his entire village. Oh, make no mistake, we do not doubt our allies' mettle, and we mourn every loss. Yet each man and woman here knows that if they must quit the battle, another sword just as fierce will take their place. Now that an ally is at your back, would allow you to fight with abandon. Oh, now, you believe this Leofine might take interest in our activities at Gorgagony Mills. Yes? Party has already left, accompanied by a group of Temple Knights. If your suspicions are correct, then they are at risk. I would ask that you follow in their tracks and ensure they have not fallen victim to foul play. The mills can be found to the north, just across the Black Iron Bridge. The party should be arriving there soon, conditions permitting. We have to reach them before Leofine does. Anything more to say? I can only hope all that all is well, but having you there would do much to set my heart at ease. I should really come here at a different time or different weather conditions. Clear sky doesn't show you the kind of improvements that have happened since the graphics update. Like, I've seen the fog in Old Charlian, where it rolls in low and kind of rises up. Looks amazing. And like, yeah, it's still not literally the best looking game in the world. Like, that is some good fog effect right there, yeah. You know, it's no oh no. Too late. They're fast asleep. But Rebel gave the impression there were more. These knights must have been the lookouts. We should awaken them, but keep your eyes peeled for Leofine. I'll rouse these ones, Aldine. You search that building yonder. I wonder if we're going in here... Oh. Oh! Huh. Has there ever been a trigger like this? I actually don't know. Who the hell's are you? How did you get past the guards? Well, yeah, I was about to say, I wonder if there's a reason we're going back here specifically. Huh. This is like the exact same thing as last time we were here. Hi. Excuse me, Sprouts starts doing level 100 shit. Oh, I couldn't see that person because of the thing. Yeah. It's you! Oh, thank the Fury you arrived when you did. Those thugs struck our backs when our backs were turned. I assume the Temple Knights were protecting the entrance, so I wasn't as cautious as I should have been. Were they killed? Don't worry about it. Sleeping? I've heard the stories, of course, but I didn't think they were true. Whomever is behind this, I'm sure they didn't count on you showing up. For now, we shall tend to our wounds and then finish our inspection here. Master Felspark, I ask that you join the knights outside and wait until we're finished. Alright, I don't get to look at what level the sprouts were. Because I have to imagine if you're in there, like, you know, there's only so many story beats that would probably call for you to be in the basement. Oh. Did we find her? Yeah. Potentially? Oh. Oh no. Facial animation was good. Ah, as I thought. Just when I was becoming bored, I sighted a familiar face among these slumbering knights. I simply had to come and make sure it was you. You finally found the courage to show yourself. Hand over the cradle now and I won't kill you. What did they call you again? The Wide Eye? You must have had quite the journey to come this far. God, she thought, yeah. She's also got that crazy energy. Be careful, Aldine. This is our quarry. The thief who stole the cradle of sleep. Of the sleepless. This is Leofine. That is your ally. What sodden tavern did you drag them out of? I dare say they seek your artifact for themselves. Oh, she doesn't know. Oh. The fuck did you just call me? You see the Warrior of Light's animation being like, bitch. That matters not, I suppose. Before you both throw your lives away, I suggest you think for a moment. Is the cause you fight for worth the sacrifice? So few of us know true freedom. If there is aught you would grasp with your own hands, do so before they wither and your eyes shut for the last time. The codes and rules that would bind men are mere illusions. Open your eyes, truly open them. You shall see a path all your own. Only a fool would waste their life in the struggle of another. Quit spouting nonsense. Nonsense? Perhaps. I am here because of another, after all. Epyahi, who came to me at the height of my debauchery and welcomed me into her devious brotherhood. She guided me to great power, yes, and now I lead others upon the unbound path. Yet, truth be told, I have little interest in seeing where it ends. I have little interest in seeing where it ends. To tear down the world's nations, Ishgard among them, and usher the world into... well, what does it matter? Yet I do derive pleasure in shaming the Temple Knights, and seeing the snickers and jeers deflate their pompous stride as they walk down the streets. This artifact can hasten their fall from grace. I believe I shall keep it. What? Bro? I know the path I walk. The one that leads to your downfall. I won't abandon it. I'll take the cradle back. Then I'll... Oh. Oh, that's not good. Oh dear. You seem to have lost your train of thought. I know you cannot hear me, but if you want your artifact back, I might suggest stealing it from me while I'm asleep. Considering the burden I have just passed to you, that opportunity may not come for some time yet. Why, I feel absolutely transcendent. I think the shackles of fatigue weighed so heavily. Alas, it appears the artifact needs its own repose of sorts. No matter. I've learned more than enough to take my next step. See to it that this lot is disposed of. It is the least you can do for the freedom I have given you. Okay. 3 people? Chat, she doesn't know. Oh wow, it didn't even put it. Well, I guess, you know, putting it into a duty would be one thing, but Lamau. A role quest for EP princesses, yeah. I was gonna say, like, I know several people who, if they had this artifact, would be unfucking stoppable. What if not EP anymore? Could you imagine? Try as you might to rouse Tentoa, he seems completely detached from the waking world. Oof. I'd give in to the EP. Yeah, I gave into it this morning. Real. Mm-hmm. Looks like you've saved us twice today. Thank you. But what of him? Nah, give me the super crack so I never have to sleep. Yeah, real. Fast asleep, just as we were. Could this be what Sir Firmelber warned us of in his report? Yeah, it basically just puts you to sleep. I see. And those stories are more than just wicked rumors. I suppose there is some small comfort in the fact that our enemy tipped their hand without causing loss of life. While the drowsiness made my eyes heavy, my ears could not mistake Leofine's arrogant voice. She would not scruple to attack former comrades in arms, and she has fallen farther than I had dared imagined. Yes, we bear the blame for allowing her to get the upper hand, and so doing put innocent lives in danger. Another black mark on our order. It's only thanks to you and your companion's efforts that the snow was not stained red this day. At the very least, allow us to carry him to the congregation. Now, our work here is done, so we shall accompany them as far as Falcon's Nest. Aldine, pray return to Ishgard and look after your friend. I'm really worried. Because so far, this is shaping up to be interesting. And there's also Hot Lady in it. So I'm wondering what on earth could possibly happen to make this bad. Because if the reputation I've heard about it is anything to go by, it doesn't square with the villain and the concept and Ishgard. So, well, glad am I to see you well, Master Velspark. I understand you come fresh from encounter with none other than Leofine. Master Tentoas now rests on the second floor. We shall stand vigil by his side every moment until he opens his eyes again. We should not have long to wait, but if you wish to check on him, please do so at your leisure. There is another matter to discuss. Just before your departure to Gorgagny Mills, it seems there was another incident. A group of criminals who were released from their cells, their guards found in a deep sleep. Doubtless Leofine was behind this. And doubtless the ruffians you clashed with were the self-same criminals. Leofine is gathering those who bear a grudge against the Temple Knights to her side. using this animosity to her advantage. I'm so dissatisfied with the final meal. Oh no. We know for certain that Leofine is the mastermind of these attacks, and that her aim is to chip away at the very foundation of the Temple Knights. Our honor. When I shared these revelations with my superiors, it was decided that none would speak publicly of the artifact and its powers. What? The passage of the Unbound seeks to overthrow the nations of the world. One obvious method to achieve this goal would be to stoke the flames of unrest among the common folk, thus sinking Ishgard into a mire of chaos and distrust. Not unlike the blasphemies of the final days. So long as these failures are placed squarely on the shoulders of the Temple Knights, we can avoid fomenting a more abiding mistrust in the nation's very core. Okay. That's probably fair. For Ishgard's peace, I would gladly suffer any disgrace. The question remains as to whether we can apprehend Leofine before she tears our reputation to tatters. While Master Tentoa sleeps, it falls to us to search for clues that might point towards her whereabouts. Did you say I could actually go up and look in on him? What? Why didn't I auto-walk? That was weird. Oh, no, we're in a city. I can't fly. Oh yeah, there he is. Too bad I can't interact with him. That would have been fun. Even if it was just a line of like, yep, still asleep. Yeah, I'll take a moment to just step away from the computer for a second. It won't be a big break. But yeah, when we come back, more. let's see what this quest line is cooking. I'm back. Whoa, that's a weird angle. Thanks, game. Alright. 96. Yeah. We're halfway. Thermal bears, eyes light up when he sees you. Leofine remains as elusive as ever. If she is in league with Ishgard's more unsavory elements, she could be hidden anywhere. We have only her cryptic statements to guide us. It seems that whatever her plan is, her actions thus far have been but a prelude to its climax. We can but hope that Tentoa awakens before she emerges again. Aldine, there you are. Oh, maybe not. Oh! Did you recover from the EP? I'm so glad I found you. I was starting to think I was in the wrong city, but the Narwhal, I can't say that in an American accent, holy shit, guided me true. Oh, you must be the maiden Tentoa mentioned. You hail from the same village, yes? I am Fermel Bear of the Bear. Fermel Bear of the Temple Knights. 'Tis an honor to meet you. Ah, Tentoa wrote about you in his letters. I'm Loa Zenique. How am I able to say that better than I can read it? Loa Zenique. Loa Zenique. But when I read it, I'm like, hang on a second. I don't know why. I can say it without reading it, but when it comes up in dialogue, I have trouble pronouncing it. It's so weird. And the honor is all mine. Is Tentoa with you? I haven't received a letter from him for some time, so I came here to check on him myself. He's been put to sleep. He EP. He's been given the EP debuff. Maybe she knows how to awaken him? Okay. You insufferable fool! What have I always told you about rushing ahead without thinking? Now you even have the gall to be sleeping when I arrive? You promised you'd write to me. What was I supposed to do when the letters stopped coming? I was so worried. Well, I guess yelling didn't work. At least I can take some small comfort that he appears so otherwise unharmed. Take it you're to thank for that, Aldine. I mean, yeah. Is there any way to counteract the Cradle's influence? He told me you were the shut. Yeah. Is there any way to counter that? Can one stay awake forever by sheer force of will? The answer is the same. Although we can deny ourselves food or drink, sleep is another matter. It always finds us in time. And to rouse oneself from a slumber this deep is an impossible task, even for someone like Tentoa. Do you know why Tentoa sleeps so soundly? The reports of other incidents indicate that those affected awoke in a matter of moments, yet Tentoa shows no signs of stirring. Well, that... I'm sorry, I can't say for certain. But I do know the stories of those who came before me. More than one Shut-Eye has fallen into a sleep much like this. One so absolute that they became deaf to the outside world. No means to sustain their bodies, they would waste away if left alone. So our people found a mixture of herbs and other materials that helped usher the Shut-Eye back to the waking world. What could possibly be strong enough to bring someone back from this? We call it spring dew, and the secrets of its making are passed down through generations. Each drop acts as a ray of sunshine in the darkness of sleep, a beacon of for the dreamer to follow. I carry some of the ingredients on my person, but others must be gathered fresh. It won't be an easy task, but I'm certain it will save Tentoa. I don't know their Eorzean name, but one of the flowers blooms a striking yellow, grows only where mountain peaks soar above the clouds. Being so close to the heavens, it drinks in the sunlight, and its petals cleanse the body and promote wakefulness. In the churning mists blooms a yellow flower called the dandelion. In no other place in Eorzea can one be closer to touching the sun. Good. Next, we'll need the saliva of a beast we call morballs, and the thicker it is, the better. Pungent odor could wake the dead. Ah, I know them well. Morballs are not an uncommon sight in the Dravanian hinterlands. A mature specimen should possess saliva with the desired effect. The prospect of gathering it, however, is an unenviable task. Me. Once we have those two ingredients, mixing them with the rest should be a simple matter. Do you think you could procure them, Aldine? Yeah. Oh, your confidence is reassuring. Since the Morbal saliva must be the fresher of the two, I ask that you climb into the heavens and pick dandelions for Tentoa. Or first do that. I think I missed the word there. I'm very good at this, I promise. So this is how Tentoa looked upon me for so long. The sight is unsettling, I must admit. Please, Aldine, come back soon. I want to hear his voice. Gather sun-drenched dandelions at all arms. Oh yeah, wow, we're going to the churning mist. We're going to fucking the churning mists. The Sea of Clouds is the general region, I think. I forget. Oh, I haven't been here since the update either. Jesus. Honestly, I'm glad these quests are taking us through old areas, because it is a pretty good opportunity to just look on old areas with the upgrade. Granted, I don't think like things like weather effects and stuff like that would have been necessarily upgraded themselves. Like, the textures probably all just get it, but then, like, the weather and stuff like that in the area probably doesn't get it as, immediately, I imagine. Also, I have to wonder, just because this is brought up in the quest, I wonder if, the dandelions in that, like, it seems like the dandelions are just here, anyway, but I don't know if that's just a quest addition, or if, like, you can actually gather these here as a botanist. The sun-drenched dandelions shine an almost golden yellow. Now for a much more gruesome task. Venture to the Dravanian hinterlands and collect saliva from the mouth of a full-grown morbol. Yay. I don't think those are bot nodes. Yeah, well, I'm not suggesting they are, but I'm wondering if they are just gatherable there, you know? Because, like, considering the, like, pretty extensive lore of things like the fishing quests and, like, a lot of the ingredients and stuff that appear for crafting and that, I have to imagine that they're not just throwing out, oh yeah, dandelions, you can get them, throw started board, in the churning mists. Like, I have to imagine there's something established already there saying you'd get stuff like that from there. Like, considering the logic they used, I wouldn't be surprised if someone who was really familiar with the botanist quest lines and the descriptions of them went, ooh, I know that. I don't remember if, or where Dandelion came from in 14. Hi. Oh, I might get to hit the button, chat. Oh, fuck. Damn it. I wanted to press the button. I gotta figure out a better place for that to... Actually, hold on. Can I put that ability on my bars? No, it's forced to be on Imperator. Oh, for fuck's sake. Why wouldn't you just put it... I don't... This is so weird. They force condense these buttons, and I'm like, no. If this is just going to be another ability on an OGCD that's not tied in with the blades thing, like, I wanna put that on a dedicated button. Fuck. Yeah, like, there's one or two places where they've made the condensing in Dawn Trail in specific that I think don't make a lot of sense. Or they've forced it in a place that I feel like they should actually be making the choice. Level 100 button? Yeah, yeah. Like, why Imperator again? Like, I understand condensing it, having the option to condense it. Cool, that's great. Why is it forced, and why Imperator? I'm ready to start mixing the ingredients at once. That is, of course, assuming you brought them with you. Found blooming among the floating isles above Eorzea, the petals of this dandelion glow almost as brilliantly as the sun which nourishes them. So pungent that not a sealed vial can contain its scent completely. A single whiff of this saliva can wrench even the deepest sleeper back into the waking world. These are difficult to acquire at the best of times, so thank you for gathering them so quickly. I should get started immediately. Well, it helps when I've got ether points all over the planet. Warrior 96 button is the same way on Inner Rage. Oh, for fuck's sake. Wait, do you mean Infuriate or Inner Rage? Wait, isn't Inner Rage... Wait, am I getting those mixed up? Which one is the one that has charges that gives you Berserk upgrade? Oh, okay, Infuriate must be the charged ability. Sorry, I got them mixed up. Yeah, it's... I don't know, man. Done all we can. Now we wait for Tentoa to open his eyes. Flows really well in Control, I will say. Oh, yeah, I bet, but... I don't know. Like, I think the thing is, it's partially a me problem, because I put cooldowns in places that I don't usually put my hands, because I don't need to be there a lot. So I have, like, 1 through 6 being common buttons I hit, along with, you know, what is it? 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10... as common buttons I press on my mouse. The option would be nice for keyboard and mouse. Yeah, like, they made it optional in a bunch of places where it already existed as not a button, but it seems like they've made the arbitrary decision to not have that option for a lot of options they added in Endwalker. And I'm just like... I mean, if I want another button to press that's just dedicated to it so I can put it somewhere that's easy to press, like... Can I do that, please? Huh? Where am I? Hope you enjoyed your sleeping days away, Tentoa. And I'm glad you're finally awake. Lozen Ikwe, what are you doing here? You stopped sending letters because you were eepy. I see. So Leofine wielded the cradle against me. While I was tucked soundly in bed, Lozen Ikwe came all this way. Oh, curse my weakness. Just when we had her, just when I was needed the most, failed. For 10 years I endured countless trials, and when the time came, I couldn't even swing my damn weapon. You were put to sleep. It was the cradle, my dude. It's not your fault, Tentoa. If anyone's to blame for what's happened, it's me. What? No. I won't hear it. As you may know, Leofine won our trust by posing as a scholar traveling the width and breadth of Toral. She expressed great interest in the cradle and our customs, and I was excited to meet an outsider that I answered. I was so excited to meet an outsider that I answered her every question. I told her that the White Eye keeps the cradle with them at all times, and then she hatched her plan. She took me hostage to draw out Tentoa. While Loazanique was sleeping, Leofine snuck into her chamber and held a blade to her throat. I had no choice but to give her what she wanted, Cradle of the Sleepless. I put Loazanique's life before the future of our people. It was at that moment I became unfit to be their guardian. Once we get the cradle back, Loazanique is one of your people. Protecting her was your duty. Thank you, Aldine. You know just what to say. That was the only way to see a future where none of my people come to harm, especially Loazanique. Even without the cradle, you're still our guardian. My guardian. We'll find a way through this together. Oh my god. Seeking such high spirits lifts my own. Oh, and before I forget, you tranced Leofine's thugs while I was dreaming in the snow, didn't you? I owe you a debt I won't soon forget. And I wager that debt will grow larger before we pry the treasure from Leofine's clutches. But whatever it takes, I won't stop until she's answered for her crimes. God damn it! This questline is cooking. When is the boot gonna drop on this, though? Because, like, how does this go wrong? You know, while I was sleeping, I dreamed. I saw Loazanique and I as children. Nothing particularly interesting happened. We just whiled the days away without a care in the world. Forgotten what it was like to dream. It was pleasant. I can remember wanting to stay there. Never opened my eyes again. Of course, the moment I gave form to that thought, I opened them. Loazanique was there. Even if we get the cradle back, will things return to the way they were? Will you go back to spend your life in dreams? I suppose so. It's my duty as the Shut-Eye, after all. Your duty. It was your duty, too, that compelled you to come all the way here to Ishgard. I'm losing the accent, goddamn. But no more. What are you saying? Tried so hard to convince myself that you were glad spending so much time asleep. But being on the other side made me realize I was lying to myself all along. I want to return to a life where you and I are bound together, but always so far apart. I want to go back to those happy days when we were by each other's sides. I guess what I'm saying is, there's a different path for us. I want to find it, and I want to walk it with you. Not yet. First, we reclaim the cradle, and when we have, we'll take our first steps towards that new future. I promise. I must confess, I haven't felt the same since I woke up. I know I was in that bed for a while, but instead of feeling refreshed, my body feels weaker somehow. Yeah, because you got the soul, you got the energy sapped out of you. It's almost as if my very strength was... Read the next line, Wolfie. It's almost as if the very strength was sapped when the treasure was turned on me. I can't even grip my weapon properly. Perhaps the cradle has been sapping the ether of its targets all along. Leofine did remark that she felt invigorated. Maybe she took her vitality for herself. Then does that mean the cradle has powers we don't know about? Wait, what? Not exactly. It may just mean the cradle works differently than we thought. It's weird they might not pass on their fatigue, rather they absorb another's vigor. The end effect would be the same. Cradle's wielder can go on without sleep, and its victims loses the strength to even keep their eyes open. You never took more than you needed, so my slumber was always light enough to awaken from. If the treasure was used without restraint... If we've had this realization, it won't be long until Leofine does too. And then it will be too late. We have to root her out. But I mustn't rush ahead blindly, as though Nikwe never tires of telling me. I feel nearly weak as a child right now. Spend what precious time we have training to regain what strength Leofine stole from me. You have my word I won't rest until I'm in top form again. I suggest that you do the same, if for no reason then no other reason than to give me some stiff competition. You're on, buddy. I'll give you competition. Awakened, not Oh, pun game's good in this questline. Tentoa appears healthier, but there is still a hint of weariness in his expression. Aye. You're looking strong, Aldine? Well, I'm not my old self yet. I'm feeling better by the day. Still, there's much work to be done. Need to be even better than I was before if we're to have any hope of catching Leofine. I wonder what she's plotting with the rest of her cohorts. We know they aim to topple nations around the world, but this is an odd way to go about it, don't you think? Why haven't her misdeeds in Ishgard extended any further than the Temple Knights? Testing ground. Well, we pondered the same question. Our best guess was that as a former Temple Knight herself, she chose them because she knows how to exploit their weakness. She's using her knowledge as her weapon, and we need to equip ourselves likewise. If we can learn more about her, we might be able to anticipate her next move. Good plan, but I admit I have no idea where to start. Should we ask Fimmelbear? I already have. He said that while he never knew her personally, the knights in her old squadron might be able to shed light onto her past. Some of them now patrol the city, and Fimmelbear was a great help in telling me where they might be. You've been busy, Lovers Nikwe. Well, I can't remember the last time I was awake this long. I didn't want to sit around until I got tired again. And we're all better for it. Since you gathered the information, it's only fitting I should do the lead work. Just tell me where the knights are, and I'll speak with them. Gladly, but Ishgard is still an unfamiliar city for both of us, right? Though Fimmelbear told me where to go, the names of these places mean nothing to me. I know the names. Luckily, we have Aldine to guide you. You go with Tentoa, won't you? Sure will. Oh. I knew we could count on you. Alright, take notes of these locations. Speak with Tinchar and have him accompany you. How many Temple Knights are there that even, not even Thermal Bear would know all of them? I can barely imagine. Being forced to work with someone like Leofine isn't a fate I would envy. Curious to hear what these knights have to say about her. Hopefully they provide insight that'll help guide us forward. Time is of the essence, Aldine. Let's get moving. Those now accompanying you, yeah. I'm surprised you didn't actually tell us in game where they are. And it's just, yeah, go find them yourself. What? Oh, upstairs. Courteous Temple Knight. Oh, now this is a rare privilege. What business could the savior of Ishgard have with a humble knight? What do you know about Leofine? Many Temple Knights come from common stock, but she was different. Despite what she became, Leofine was born of noble blood. Even so, she often made mock of Ishgard's customs and the responsibilities that bound the conduct of noble families. Doubtless she yearned for freedom all her life. Or her idea of it, anyways. Although her deeds caused her to be expelled from the Temple Knights and summarily stripped of her title, she may have actually desired that outcome. If she hated it so much here, all she had to do was leave. And here she did leave, for a time at least. Now she's in league with a group that aims to plunge the world into chaos. A selfish heart like Leofine was sought out to aid in this plot. I shudder to imagine how wicked their leader must be. Yeah, we won't find out anything about that until point 1 or something like that. Where else are we going? Oh, there's a dialogue point over there. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna go the long way so I can get that. Do you require aid? I must keep watch, so forgive me if I don't engage in idle chit-chat. Leofine? Oh, for her I can spare a moment. I don't suppose you know why she was expelled from the Temple Knights, do you? I don't suppose you know why she was expelled from the Temple Knights, do you? While few were her equal in swordplay, and fewer still handled their mounts with such grace, she often spent her nights carousing in the gambling halls. It was after just such a night that she fell asleep while on duty. Some may call it a cruel twist of fate, but dragons attacked her chargers as she slept, and they were left defenseless. In her negligence, she was deemed to have aided our ancestral foe, and thus was stripped of her knighthood and noble title both. Knights fallen asleep on duty. A story that's become all too familiar. Given what happened, I've no doubt she came to fear sleep. Yet now she has conquered that weakness, and she wields it as a weapon against us. She may even believe herself to be beyond the reach of mortal danger, yet she's only deluding herself, and in time she'll be made to answer for her deeds. Huh. My war on sleep. I was EP once, it was terrible. All my friends died. God. What's up? Discuss the statue of Saint Ray. Huh. Heard that the people of Ishgard revere a warrior god, but here is a statue of a flesh and blood knight. Never seen such a thing. My people have no figures or depictions of our departed, fearing that such objects would keep them from finding their way to the next world. The only idol we keep is the cradle of the sleepless. Thanks to its blessing, a wide eye has always watched over us. So our reverence is devoted solely to the narwhal. It's enough that it guides our people safely to the next sunrise. Statue's looking a little worse for wear these days, but there you go. Oh, I suppose I could have teleported here, actually. Skysteel. All is quiet. Even so, I must remain vigilant. Leofine, eh? Name spoken of in hushed whispers now, but many have forgotten her strategic genius. She had a singular talent for achieving victory in battle by whatever means necessary. Genius. Oh, maybe we're just too dense to see how her actions would cause Ishgard to collapse. Given that her group seems relatively few in number, an assault on Ishgard is unlikely. Rather, I think her aim is to chip away at the people's trust in Ishgard's foundation, and by the absence of a few vital bricks, bring the whole nation tumbling down. The thought gives me worry. Even now, representatives from Ishgard are preparing to visit Zundu in the Sea of Clouds. If anything were to go wrong, it would be a grievous blow to Ishgard's reputation. As we saw at Falcon's Nest, certain elements that oppose our nation see friendly gestures as a chance to spark conflict. Given recent developments, Sir Handelo has been debating whether the visit is a wise choice. Well, we have a general understanding of what drives our adversary. So as to paint a picture of a rotten, conniving soul. We know enough to guess her next move. It must have been hard on the Lord Commander? What? You're right. Whatever her ultimate goal may be, it's clear she has an almost blinded focus on shaming the Temple Knights. And this, what do you call it, a delegation? May provide an irresistible opportunity. Finally, we have knowledge to use against our enemy. If we all work together, we might be able to trap her. We haven't much time. Let's return to the congregation and tell this Handler what we know. Wheels are in motion, and doubtless Sir Handler would welcome news of potential threats before they catch us unawares. I believe he is yet planning the details of the visit at the congregation. I wonder why we brought up Emmerich in that scenario. I mean, you know, considering the, what this could do to Ishgard in general, I'm kind of surprised he hasn't appeared in the story at all. Handelo's usually the person we go to when, like, we basically need someone who's not Emmerich to order people around. Or, like, absent of Lucia and, Emmerich, we usually go to Handelo for anything, like, major, so I imagine that's probably the best we're getting in terms of Ishgard. Well, major character rep, but you are ever welcome at the congregation, Aldine. I'm apprised of Leofine's wicked deeds, and our efforts to flush her out have been much appreciated. Or your efforts to flush her out have been much appreciated. Ah, and this must be Master Tentoa, who crossed the seas from, crossed the ocean from Tiral. I hope you've recovered from your ordeal. I'm better than ever. Apologies for taking up one of your beds for so long. Oh, please, no apologies are necessary. On the contrary, the Temple Knights yet owe you a debt for all you have done. He is kind of a handsome dude, though. Which brings us to the purpose of this visit. You had something to discuss with me. I see you and I had the same doubts. The delegation to Okzundu would be an obvious target for Leofine. I was but recently debating the wisdom of moving forward with our plans. As you know, all of Ishgard falls under the protection of the Temple Knights. As such, 'tis only meet that we maintain and strengthen friendly relations with our neighbors. All the elements are hot now. Yeah, this is true. Shale, my beloved. The delegation in question is tasked with deepening mutual understanding of each of our unique cultures. Sonu Vanu, chief of the Zundu, was most eager to host. Yet, so long as the specter of Leofine hangs over our order, I fear visits abroad are unwise. Should any of the Vanu come to harm, our relations could be damaged irreparably. Big winners from the updates for... yeah. As we have no way of knowing if Leofine has caught wind of our plans, I am of the mind that postponing the delegation may be the most prudent course of action, for the safety of all. This could be the perfect chance to draw her out. That's right. Aldine and I won't let anyone come to harm. And as long as you want to warn the Vanu in advance, they shouldn't hold the actions of a rogue against you. If they're truly your allies, they'll see the wisdom in your judgment. Please, send the delegation as planned. It'll be our best chance to capture Leofine. Yes, your words have merit. Thank you for the sage counsel. You are right. The Zundu would not stand idly by while we suffer at Leofine's hand. In fact, the fellowship between our two peoples was forged when a god assailed their home and was brought low by a great hero, Aldine. I beat up a whale. If we tell the Zundu that he is keeping watch over the proceedings, then I am certain all doubts shall be quelled. Then you'll proceed? Indeed. The time has come for we Temple Knights to reclaim our honor and go on the counter-offensive. I shall bring this suggestion of a joint operation against Leofine to the Lord Commander as soon as possible. Thank you. Together we'll put a stop to her scheme. I first must discuss matters with the others involved before we present a plan to the Lord Commander. Although time is of the essence, I ask that you wait a while until our course is settled. Of course. Alright. Realize now that I agreed to defend a people I know next to nothing about. Tell me if these Zundu will soon be visiting. They're like the Hanu Hanu, with even more of a penchant for metaphor. That's really good. Really? Two groups of such people so far apart. The world really is full of surprises. Even a single city is enough for a lifetime. Every day I hear something that gives me food for thought. Like the story of the Dragon Song War, for instance. Generations of animosity between dragon and man that somehow ended in a rekindled fellowship. I imagined a whole world like that. A world where there'd be no need for protectors. Wide-Eye watches not only the monsters in the wilderness, but our neighbors as well. We've barely even considered sending delegations outside our village's gates. The cold snap only made things worse. With everyone struggling just to survive, our every thought goes towards defending our scarce resources. But if we only look outward with wariness, there's no hope for the future to change. No hope to build trust. Only there is a way to bridge the distance between us and greet tomorrow hand in hand. I feel like that's going to be part of the kind of like coming together thing at the end. Like the ultimate role quest being basically bringing all of those peoples together to thwart the path of the Unbound. Maybe that's just a silly dream. Maybe. Either way, it's a beautiful thought. I'm glad you think so. Hold that future in mind as I get back to training. As for you, Aldine, get some rest. If you fall asleep when I need you most, I'll wake you up with a knock to the head. Got it. I think I'll be good, my man. Dreams of a new day. Tentoa is eager to set a trap for Leofine. Sir Handelo still hasn't sent word. Guess the others might not be so enthusiastic about our plan. To them, the cradle of the sleepless is naturally still something to be feared. No matter how much faith they have in your strength, you'd be at Leofine's mercy if she put you to sleep. Honestly, I don't blame them. Not even I imagine our treasure could be used for such evil. In Leofine's hands, it's no more than an indiscriminate weapon. But that means when we get it back, we can turn it into something else. Something no one's ever thought of before. We can find a way to use it without forcing someone to spend their life in slumber. Of course, I agree with you, Tentoa, but we have more pressing matters. Namely, a rogue knight to capture and a treasure to recover? Right. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Oh, hey. Apologies for keeping you waiting so long. The Temple Knights have finally reached a decision concerning the delegation to the Sea of Clouds. And what have you decided? I'm pleased to say that the Zundu have agreed to join forces with us. Together, we shall drive back Leofine should she attack. If her shadow darkens even an ilm of their homeland, our peaceful delegation shall turn into a fighting force at a moment's notice. We shall restore the Temple Knight's reputation and recover your artifact in one fell swoop. Oh, thank you, Handlo. We promise to do our part if Leofine shows herself. She won't get away with this. We have but to hammer out the finer details. Once we are ready to depart, the first group of knights shall leave by airship. I would ask you both to make your way to Oxzundu as soon as possible, so you may help plan our strategy. Actually, I'm coming too. I can heal your wounds, and if it comes to it, my staff can bruise as well as a club. Hell yeah. Thwack 'em. I'll gladly have you with us. I'm done taking on the world alone. I need you, Lois and Ikwe. And Aldine too. We're stronger together than we could ever be apart. Cradle never would have been stolen if I'd realized that from the beginning. And I want you by my side to ensure I don't forget it. Well then, we better be off. I'm keen to meet this Chief Sonu Vanu. Oh, hi, fellow tank. Fellow Ellison tank? Yeah. I can't remember the Vanu voices now that I think about it. Honored Netherling, your return to Oxzundu is as welcome as the arrival of spring. Sonu knows why you come. Wicked hearts seek to bring chaos to our home. And so the Zundu shall rise to its defense if needed. As the sun's rays chase away the shadows of night, the sun-drop dance shall keep the tendrils of sleep at bay. Oh, okay. Chief Sonu Vanu, it's an honor to meet you. I'm Tentoa, and if this sun-drop dance is as invigorating as you say, I'd love to see it for myself. The Zundu shall dance before Ishgard's warriors upon their arrival. Brave Tentoa is welcome to join the proceedings. That was your original intent, right? Let's see. If we were to draw Leofine out, it makes sense to pretend like nothing is amiss. Zundu warriors unify their strength through the Sundrop dance, and the sight is so fearsome that many choose to flee rather than fight. Netherling warriors may learn much from such an approach. Breaking the enemy's spirits avoids needless bloodshed. Yet all dancers must hone their skills before wild animals first, that the Sundrop dance does not fail them at the most crucial moment. It is for that reason our dancers await at the outskirts of Oxzundu for the Netherling's arrival. When the performance begins, it shall draw the attention of all like a roiling cloud coming from the horizon. Watch carefully for any who would take advantage of that moment. After the dance is finished, Netherlings will present the Zundu with... Chief Sonu! Netherling's ship appears in the skies like sun shower, hurtling toward Earth. Swiftly it descends, crashing down near Zundu dancers. Ship's markings are Ashgardian. Zundu are unhurt, but wounded Netherlings pour from vessel. Like a lightning bolt in the night, Leofine strikes. Temple Knights were coming by airship, right? All Leofine had to do was lull the pilot to sleep. She saw right through us, and now we're on the back foot. Great winds can alter even a raging river's course. What matters is to stand strong and move forward. Now we must offer aid to the Netherlings who come as guests. Right, let's go. Oh, we just... okay. Yeah, that'll do it. This is work of the cradle. Leofheim can't be far. We must tend to the wounded, but I won't let her escape again. This ends today, one way or another. Hi. Oh, god damn it. There you are, Leofheim. Oh, excuse me. You came all this way just to greet me. Oh, I am honored. I only hope my gift was satisfactory. 'Tis a shame you will not see Ishgard crumble. Alas, I can scarcely suffer rats to scurry about my feet, threatening to gnaw at my carefully laid plans. At least you bear witness to the dying breath of the Temple Knight's flagging honor. We would sooner see that wrecked airship soar again than their reputation return to its former glory. Yet even I did not foresee that the Zundu would be in the ship's path. The fury favors me, for who would trust a nation so careless as to put their neighbors at risk? Everyone knows you're behind this. People won't turn on each other so easily. Oh, I didn't see you there. The shut-eye, wide awake. Doubly honored I am that you came all this way just to meet your end. Enough. We're taking the cradle back. We won't let your evil continue any longer. Such bold words. If I recall correctly, your people reaped great benefits from this artifact's powers, all at the cost of someone's waking life. Your life. Pray, do not misunderstand me. That was not meant to be a denouncement of your people. On the contrary, they have my utmost respect. We are bound by our very nature. No matter how mighty we become, we are fucking skipping dialogue. We are slaves to the whims of sleep. Yet this artifact can sunder those shackles and grant true freedom. It makes it makes its wielders stronger and their enemies weak. A perfect weapon, if you ask me. I can't say whether using the cradle is right or wrong. I only know that a life lived at the cost of another is no life at all. You're right about one thing. We are bound by our nature. That doesn't shackle us. It brings us together. Whether I'm asleep or awake, as long as Loa Zanique is by my side, that's the life I want. Show her no quarter, I'll be your shield. She's exhausted the Cradle's power on the Temple Knights. This is our chance. Really? It's just The plan is without its wrinkles, I suppose. Fortunately, I prepare for all contingencies. Leofheim the unchivalrous. Henchmen and goons, yeah. Fuck, you so goddamn hot, god damn it. You had an opportunity to live a quiet life, but I will not give it again. This time I shall send you into a slumber from which you will never awake. Give the cradle back or take it. Alright, what's the deal? More bluster as usual, take it if you dare. Oh my god, for fuck's sake, dude. Wash away the darkness of sleep with sun drop beds. Oh, I'm not doing the goddamn Holy Spirit shit. Sometimes I just forget that's a thing. Jesus. Think fast, chuckle nuts. Okay. Everyone's awake. Yippee. Mighty Zundu, protect the Netherlings warriors. Netherling warriors, keep cautious like galley cat in the sky. Now you're all alone. This ends now, Leofine. Why am I cursed with incompetence? Very well, dance with me, Wide-Eye. Wide-eyed out of nowhere? Is that a thing? I don't know. It doesn't really sound like it, if I'm being honest. Artifact isn't for such callous hands. Novel's blessing is only for those who with the heart of a defender. Oh. It gives you a long time to get there. This is the first time we've actually had a legit phase 2, I think. The artifact swells of power. It begs to be released. Now, you shut your eyes for the final time. Take a last glimpse of the waking world. Oh, wide-eyed order. Oh. Shit. You know what? Okay. You know what? Oh, that's alright. I'll give you that. Brace yourself against the power of the artifact. Okay. This is also the first one that hasn't had the goofy music, by the way. Oh shit, now he's asleep. About Tantoa. I think he EP. can't hit him. This piece of wood is for protection? Such a cloying sentiment. Cursed insects, you lot. Finish off and earn your freedom. Alright, well... Not gonna lie. Little underwhelming so far. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let it cook. Okay. Oh. Yes, you were asleep. So to go to help allies, may Zephyr winds guide you to victory. Sleeping is inexorable. How are they doing this? Okay, now it's doing some shit. Oh, actually, I'm working with this instead. Was fine. Could have been a bit better, but I honestly thought it would have tried to force stun you at some points to like force you into bad positions as a tank, but it didn't really do that. So, you stubborn. You may have won today, but this is not over. Yes, it is. I go EP. Fuck! I missed it! Shit! Damned fool. Now! Wouldn't she have absorbed the Warrior of Light's ether a little bit? Like, surely she would have been empowered by that. Isn't the whole point that she saps someone and that drains... No! Say goodnight, Leofine. What? Wide Eye watches Eternal. The Eternal is asleep it bestows. I mean, the Griffin flew after her, so I can only imagine she's, like, she survived, but, like, fucking what? We finally stopped her. Yes, we have someone else to worry about. Aldine, wake up. Are you alright? Hooray for attempted murder. Only he would smile at a time like this. Sorry, what? I love all the pieces in this story. I just don't understand how this is the story they chose to tell with those pieces. Yeah, I wanna see what we talk about after this. Cause yeah, I think I agree. This is just like, oh. Like, it's not even bad, it's just more like... Oh, is that? Okay. He's awake! Oh, I did a dumb thing, didn't I? Sorry, I tend to do that a lot. Like... I don't know, there's just nothing poetic about it, if that makes sense. Like... It's really not bad at all. Yeah, no, it's just kind of like, oh. Like, oh, you know what it is? You know what it is? I hate invoking the story I'm about to, but, like, unfortunately is very good. Or very apropos. You know how in Harry Potter, that the whole conclusion of the story is basically wand lore technicalities? And not, like, a satisfying narrative through line? That's what this feels like. Like, she used it on the Warrior of Light, which puts them to sleep. But she doesn't get empowered by it, and thus it deactivates, and she can't use it, which allows Tentoa to grab the upper hand. Like, it's not like she abused the power and that led to her downfall. It's just that, aha, you used it on one person here, and you can only use it once. It's like, like, she knows the power it wields. Why wouldn't she have a plan for that? And it just leaves me sitting here going like, okay, I guess that makes sense. This is kind of like... okay? Yeah. Your work is done, Aldine. You did a commendable job as our shield, and now you can lay down your burden. Like, honestly, I'm kind of surprised we didn't get to do, like... Damn 2-minute meta kind of shit. Yeah, the totem has a 2-minute cooldown now. It used to have a really weird cooldown you'd be able to abuse more, but nah. Nah, now you can't do shit outside of the 2 minutes. But yeah, that's just a really unsatisfying way to, it's not a very satisfying way to conclude this, because I feel like the through line has not been understanding the relic to a great degree, focusing on picking apart what it's actually capable of to actually try and combat it. Kind of like, I brought it up at the beginning of the stream, but kind of like a stand battle. A lot of those are satisfying because the logic is all laid out, and then people have to fit that together into a battle plan and execute it, right? But that's not really the point of the story here. Like, the actual functionality of the totem comes up a couple of times, but it's not, like, focused on in a way that's like, okay, you know, like, the plan is, we are going to make her exhaust the use of the totem, or of the relic, rather, and thus, it is going to leave her open. Like, that wasn't the plan. But it happened anyway, so it's, like, it's just, oh, okay, I guess that's how it goes then. Not, oh, the plan actually worked, or they lay out a plan that uses the logic, that plan doesn't go to plan, and then they actually manage to get something else out of it. Like, that would have been satisfying. This is just like, like, oh, by the way, there's limits to the power, and then, oh, look, the limit of the power, and it's like, you didn't really build up to that, really. Like, that's an easy out for the story to go with. I'm curious what happened to... Wait, hold on a second. Has anyone else done the caster quests here? I don't remember if anyone else has. Did... What happened to... Not me. I can't remember if what happened to the trader's son who used the relic. Did he get arrested? I feel like he got arrested. Yeah. Because I was about to say, like, oh, hold on a second, I'm seeing a pattern here where people are just, like, or the villains of each of the role quests are kind of left in an ambiguous state. Because the second set, I think, got, like, Team Rocket blasted away. Leofine here fell off a cliff, and it looks like her griffin is gonna pick her up, but... Yeah. Also, yeah, I guess it's a really unceremonious way to end that battle, too, to have it fall off the fucking cliff. Rather than, again, like, in her hubris, manage to get away, but without the relic or something like that. Yeah. Because that's kind of why the people in the healer quest line lost, because they picked up a bomb, and, like, they weren't fucking looking, and what's-her-name managed to poison herself, so she wasn't paying attention, and they both got blown away. Like, there, hubris, they're overusing the power, they're done. Same with the first guy, I'm pretty sure, that, like, you know, it got out of his hand, and then it overwhelmed him, and we had to overcome it, and he was just gone. Like, cool, yeah, you overused the power. In this case, it doesn't very much feel like that. Or it doesn't have the same weight to it, because it's just like, yes, this technicality of the power and stuff like that. Where I feel like the other ones were really focusing on, yes, this is the power, this is the limitations, and this is how this person is using it. Like, it had more poetic thing here. But, like, we did the end of the Lancer questline, but the reason that the person fell off the cliff wasn't because of their character. It was because, haha, I got the funny power instead of you. Die. Like, we haven't had the giant robot versus giant monster fight yet to complete the Super Sentai feel, so maybe that's a 7.1 quest thing. Yeah, maybe. I don't know, it's just, yeah, I think combined with, like, the storytelling here, like, her falling off the cliff isn't oh, we'll see her next time. Like, like a Team Rocket blasting off again, it just feels like, wait, that's how we resolved this without actually having her being arrested or anything? Like, it wasn't that, like, you know, she got on her griffin and, like, the power activated and made her fall asleep and drop the relic and the griffin took her away or something like that. Because she overestimated her ability to actually utilize that power. She just... Like, if a healer was nearby and just casted sleep, that would have been enough. Like, yeah, it's just... Yeah. Maybe we'll see them all next time and their Voltron. Yeah, maybe. It's thanks to your bravery that I was able to deal the final blow to Leofine. With the cradle back in our possession, I think we can consider this expedition across the seas to be a success. The Zundu helped us gather the wounded and see them safely off to Ishgard. We couldn't have done it without you. Netherlings protect allies as fiercely as Galecat. Gaelicat? Ugh. Gaelicat, protecting kittens. Zundu are moved by your might. You were equally as impressive. Should learn the Sundrop dance myself, though I won't strike a figure half as fierce as yours. Yeah, you know what, now that I think about it, it does have a tinge of the Haka. Of, like, Maui. Gay cat, yes. Sorry, Maori. Did I say Maui? Yeah, now I never put it together before, I think, but the Sundrop dance kind of does remind me a little bit of, like, has, like, a, or at least, like, a parallel to the Haka, which, you know, kind of makes sense. Zundu seem to have everything well in hand, and Handloop is likely eager to see us. We should return to Ishgard as soon as we can. Yeah, like in terms of a fierce a dance meant to look fearsome and kind of like lead into battle, like yeah, no, that's a 1-to-1 there. Yeah. So yeah, that was a bit of a dud. Like. Okay, so what are we now? We've had a genuinely big missed opportunity to really sell the actual like energy within a quest line, and a really weird just like, haha, you guys are bandits, time to go to jail. Venom to it at some point. The second one was really good, like really good. You know, I think it had probably the most coherent kind of like through line of the three I've done so far, and this one was all great up until the end, where it just kind of like it did not even plateaued. It got a little worse, and then it just kind of middled, and it's like, oh, okay. Girlfriend quest, yes, we can't forget the Yuri in the caster quest, of course. Well, sorry, the healer quest. It's a very, very important aspect of that story. As all Yuri is, obviously. Ah, the heroes of the day have returned. Thanks to your valor, the threat Leofine posed is no more. What's more, not a single life was lost. On behalf of the Temple Knights, allow me to express my utmost gratitude to you all. You don't owe me any thanks. After all, it was my fault that the cradle was stolen in the first place, and ultimately my fault that your delegation to Oxundu turned into a melee. My face went Yuri, yeah. It may be true that our visit to the Sea of Clouds is far from peaceful, but the bond between the Zundu and Temple Knights has only deepened through overcoming mutual adversity. Blessings often take inscrutable forms. Actually, I'm gonna bring that up later. And while we know not whether Leofine yet lives, we do know that she can no longer reach the source of her ill-gotten power. So we have little more to fear from her. With the crisis behind us, the common folk no longer have aught to fear. We will make known the story of Leofine's schemes and the heroes who work to foil them. And in time, I hope that that trust in our order will be restored. The Temple Knights shall continue to build relations with our neighbors for years to come. Relations which shall form the foundation for Ishgard's future. We would be honored if we could count you among our allies in this endeavor. Oh, anything you need, simply call upon us. We'll be there, no questions asked. And with that, it's time we returned home. It's been an honor. We'll be passing through Tuliolol on our way back, Aldine. If you have business in those parts, we'd love to speak to you at Ishbalyav Tai before setting off. See you soon, hopefully. Like, yeah, like... it's so weird. It's like, here's the quality of the quest. It goes up and up and up and up and up, and then it divots. Like, at the most important point. And it comes back up again, because it's like... The narrative through line just, like, it's all good except for the literal conflict. Which is just kind of... Shrug? It's alright. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that definitely doesn't beat out the healer quest line, but I think it's definitely better than the caster one. Makes it feel like a real nothing burger. Yeah, like there was more like because the kind of periphery stuff is like less explored. It makes more sense because it didn't have to build on it specifically, but like yeah, the like core actual thing it was focusing on was just like oh. It's like watching a firework go up. But actually, it's like watching a firework go up and then it just doesn't go. You're just like, oh. Oh. Okay. But then the noise happens. Well, not even the noise. Like, I think... or it just, like... you just hear it, like... And it doesn't release any of the sparkles or anything. It's just like, oh. Oh, that sucked. All that build-up for nothing. Aldine, there you are. I was afraid we wouldn't see you before we left. We arrived not long ago and apprised Brokevu of everything that happened. This is the longest I've spent away from our village, but even though Tuliolal and Ishgard were, like entirely different worlds to me, I was only ever treated with kindness. Is anything the matter, Tentola? Nothing. It's just something I've been thinking about. Our people have always been self-sufficient, but the Ishgardians and the Zundu showed that looking to your neighbor can reveal a way through the harshest difficulties. You heard Handelo, the bond between Ishgard and Oxundu was only made deeper through their shared ordeal. Trust in others to such a degree, I think it's a goal we should all strive toward. We have at least one friend that like that, don't we? He who bent his ears to every note of the Narwhal's lullaby without a shade of fear in his eyes. Thank you, Aldine. We're believing in us. We're believing that no matter the outcome, your actions would not be in vain. In so doing, you taught me the worth of fighting alongside allies you can trust. Even if your shield breaks, that is not the end. I only protected you as you protected me. I only protected you as you protected me. Is that what I did? I honestly don't remember much about that moment. I think I was only acting on instinct. I suppose that's what it means to have faith in your allies. But approaching someone with open arms doesn't mean they'll accept you. The relations between our people and our neighbors have been strained by generations of mistrust. We must take care to mend them properly. If we can do that and learn to look towards the future hand in hand, then there will be no need to use the cradle ever again. People can sleep and dream untroubled, and awaken with bright eyes. I want to see those days come to pass. Me too. Then you and I can finally spend more time together. Right, of course. If we're going to see this future, then we should get back to our village. I'll be overjoyed to see the cradle returned. Thank you for everything, Aldine. Next time we meet, may we both have good news to share. Hell yeah. Like, yeah, the build-up, sick. The through line, sick. The kind of ending and wrapping it up, really good. Really kind of well thought out. It's just the climax of the whole thing is just like... Oh. Oh, okay. Alright. Sure. No sleep till Tuliolol. There it is. I'd seen that one before, so... Yeah, it's not bad. It's just... Alright. Like, everything about that is good except for the most important part. And it's just kind of middling at best, which unfortunately, like, leaves it in a bad state, in general, in my opinion. But, yeah. Alright, I'm gonna take a quick break here, and, when we return, we'll start the, Viz Ranged. Okay. Caps lock. Bastard. Yeah, I'll be right back.